It's really vile. Meghan's jealousy towards Charlotte makes Brits all extremely angry. One of the most common and obvious traits of narcissism is jealousy, and this is a type of jealousy that doesn't understand boundaries. Meghan's sense of self-importance, her obsession with power and fame and beauty and success in everything that she does, her sense of entitlement, seemingly choosing to surround herself with people who are a lot more important than she is, her arrogance and also a desire to be loved and admired for everything she is, makes her somebody to be avoided as much as possible. Narcissist jealousy also doesn't discriminate when it comes to age. I mean, they can be jealous of a young child and even older people, often the same gender as the narcissist, though. Maybe it doesn't make sense to most of us because we're normal people, but Meghan considers every other female out there to be her competition. Competition to be what? Well, to be the center of attention wherever she happens to be in any given situation. That's what she wants. So a beautiful little girl like Princess Charlotte, with what can be considered to be having the world at her feet, but still well-mannered, intelligent, and loved by everyone, is way too much for Meghan to deal with. Another big problem for Meghan, of course, is that the entire world welcomed and celebrated the birth of Princess Charlotte. She's shown often at various events, she has perfect manners, and she is so cherished, and she has been since the time she was born, especially people who got to see her being held in her mother's arms on the hospital steps the day she was born. Her proud parents were so excited to share her with the world, and her family was so happy. Charlotte is just a little treasure. She's the pride and joy of her family. She is the future of the royal family. She's the daughter of Prince William, the Prince of Wales. And that's the prince, of course, that Meghan really wanted to marry. And she's also the daughter of gorgeous Catherine. And even worse for Meghan, she is expected to curtsy to a little girl. And it is because Meghan is such a bitter individual, somebody whose plans fell through. She's a viper, and she's incredibly jealous. See, Charlotte is a real princess. She has royal blood, unlike Meghan, who's just a grifter and a social climber. She knew before she got married that this beautiful little girl was always going to be a higher rank than her. Meghan really wanted the throne, and Charlotte was already a couple of places above Harry. Meghan Markle, make no mistake, is dangerous. Tom Bower was right in that this is malevolence, it's revenge, and it's never going to stop. And I think now the palace is beginning to understand this. Let's remember what she said, one plane crash away from the crown? How disturbing. It's important that Meghan is not allowed to have any contact, communication, or involvement with those three kids. Never. And Harry really shouldn't either after what he said about wanting to bring them up. And the sad thing is, she feels basically the same way about anybody who she feels may overshadow her in any way. She suffers from a very severe personality disorder, so she should be avoided by anybody who could be at risk. And clearly that includes children, especially children she thinks may obtain more attention than her. Her jealousy is also not limited to Princess Charlotte, of course not. Meghan is really jealous of anybody who gets more attention than her. Meghan needs to accept the fact, though, that if she hasn't achieved most of her goals by the age of 46 or whatever she is, time is running out. Charlotte and her generation, on the other hand, have the world at their feet, so of course we're going to follow their journey more than hers. I think Charlotte already has influence over people in a way that Meghan never could. From what I have seen at The Little Princess, she has such amazing manners and she has a real understanding of her future role of service. In so many ways, Charlotte is much more mature than her age, and by comparison, Meghan still hasn't grown up. So, for one thing, Princess Charlotte is of royal blood born. One day, she is going to be the Princess Royal like Anne is right now. Meghan decided to bully her when she was only 3 years old. She teased her before that wedding. Who would do such a thing? The other problem for Meghan is that she is the daughter of her rival, Catherine. Since the Princess of Wales is so loved, she's so respected, she's naturally gorgeous, she's gracious, she's kind, all the things that Meghan is not, Meghan despises her. She just can't stand it. Catherine got the man and the position that Meghan really wanted for herself, and that makes her so jealous. Another reason is the Wales family are actually a happy family. They do their jobs well, and they're seen out and about enjoying happy times together. But all we get from Meghan is contrived, photoshopped nonsense. There is no way that she can compete, so that's why she is still jealous of this innocent little girl. See, underneath all that arrogance, all that bullying, all those lies, Meghan is incredibly insecure, so she makes up for that by trying to punish people she cannot control or dominate. Since William finds her disgusting and wants nothing to do with her, the best way, in her insane mind, to punish him is to go after his little family. Meghan feels such jealousy towards anybody who takes attention away from her. She's a typical narcissist, and she doesn't have any real emotional attachment to anything or anyone, just herself. And I think that Charlotte is a feisty little girl who someday is going to prove to be a big thorn in Meghan's side. Princess Charlotte is going to be just like her auntie Princess Anne, and she's not going to take crap from anybody. I think she's going to be an excellent support system for Prince George, the same way that Princess Anne supports the king. Meghan also took things way too far when she tried to make up this car chase story that would seem like the one that killed Princess Diana. Well, she chose the wrong city, the wrong streets, and even the wrong vehicle for that. The whole thing was just so absurd, so insulting to the memory of Diana. That really was the straw that broke the camel's back, the one that got everybody saying, "All right, that's it, we have had enough of this foolishness." It is true that usually if you give people enough rope, they'll do a pretty good job of hanging themselves. Meghan and Harry keep on doing the same thing over and over again, trying to get their names in the media, trying to be so important, but they're not. They're just a couple of miscreants trying to make a name for themselves. Meghan Markle truly has overplayed her hand, though, from the very start, believing that she could somehow fool the Queen. She could be a vicious bully and get away with it, tell lies, exaggerate stuff, show up at kids' graves with a camera crew, and clearly stage all those PR attempts. Meghan Markle is a very sick person, and if she didn't cause so many problems, I could almost feel sorry for her. Almost. But what really got to me was that curtsy Meghan did on Netflix. What a slap in the face. I didn't watch the whole thing, I couldn't, but I have seen more than enough clips of that curtsy, and for a couple of reasons it really made me angry. So first, I'm an American, but I have so much respect for the late Queen, for her 70 years of amazing service to the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth. For Meghan to do what she did and then laugh like it was some kind of funny joke just showed what a horrible woman she is. She is the nastiest thing to crawl out of Montecito that I have ever seen. She's a bully. She's got those rat eyes. She has that big, ugly, gaping mouth. She's a stick figure with a weird boxy body and chicken legs and really bad skin. And Harry has to be the stupidest thing to ever crawl out of the royal family in decades, and he's not very nice either. Actually, they're well suited for each other. Another thing that really upset me was watching Harry just sit there with that smirk on his face, allowing her to disrespect his own grandmother. It shows what a low-life jerk he really is. Why Harry would let her do that is beyond me. It just proves that he has completely lost touch with reality. I can only imagine how William felt when he heard about all that. Meghan had the nerve to mock the Queen as she did with that curtsy, and Harry had the nerve to just sit there and not say a thing. They really are a couple of scoundrels. Meghan was also mocking the UK and their traditions. She's just so ignorant. She does not understand or tolerate anything that's not focused on Hollywood. But anyway, they definitely have made a name for themselves. Several in fact, and none of them are repeatable in polite company. I would guess it ended any possibility of Harry ever returning to the family as a working royal. It just proves that something is wrong with his brain. I don't know if it was always like that, but it looks like now he has been under Meghan's control for such a long time, she's completely got him brainwashed. And it's hard to know, but it seems to me that in Meghan's self-absorption and just stupidity, a woman who has so little to no understanding or insight into the fact that the world now knows what she's about and the fact that she's hated by most, she still doesn't understand, though, the error of her ways. And this time, with her alleged New York car chase, well, she blew it. And you, what do you think about Meghan Markle? Please tell me your opinion below in the comments. Don't be afraid to like and share my video with your friends and relatives who need it anytime you want. And don't be afraid to click the subscribe button to get more updates in the future. Thank you so much for tuning in, have a lovely weekend, and we'll be back to see you all tomorrow.